Alright, so you get into this tomb, you notice that there's a puzzle, but you don't know how to solve it. Let me walk you through it. So first of all, when you enter this room, there's a note lying on the table here in the middle. And if you pick up that note and read it, you can notice that there's a riddle in the middle of this note. And it reads, through his name, his title, the symbol of his order, and the date of inception of his order, shall the path be revealed. So what we need to do is figure out all of these things. What do we know? We know that there's a bunch of holes in the wall here, with keyholes, you could say, or sockets that you can place something in. You have similar ones here with some shields above it. Similar ones here on the wall, 2 of them. And behind this whiteboard, you have 2. And you also have 2 over here. There's also 2 other ones next to the room behind the whiteboard. If you continue further down this cave, you will find a tomb down by this ladder. And in this tomb, you will find 4 keystones. And also paintings on the wall with some symbols on each character and some texts underneath each painting. And you will also find these texts scattered through this whole cave. Now, if we break this note down and we start with the number 1 out of 4 on this list, it is his name. So who are they talking about? If you read on the different texts scattered throughout this cave, you will quickly figure out that this cave is about this guy who wore this armor. And you can also read here, it's Pentos Algia they're talking about. So that is his name. Now, if you go over back behind the whiteboard and you read on the text on the left side next to the socket, it will say Algia. And that is his name. So we put 1 of our 4 keystones in this socket right here. Now, if we refer back to our note, we need to figure out his title. So what was his title? If you paid attention when you were in the tomb and read on all the tablets on the walls, you would have noticed that on this one, it says Pentos Algia ordinated the new Warden of Grief. So we know that he was called the Warden of Grief. If we look at the symbols on the paintings and we look at the grief symbol, and you can tell because it says on the left, Warden of Grief. So we know that the symbol for Warden of Grief looks like that. And if you paid attention throughout this game, you would have also noticed that the grief affinity symbol also looks like that. Now, in the first room of this cave where all of the sockets were, you could have also noticed that there was a bunch of symbols above each socket. So we know that this one is the symbol for Warden, or the grief symbol. So my guess is that one of the keys should sit in this socket right here. It's going well, so let's refer back to our note and the riddle. Now the next up is the symbol of his order. Now, what order was he in? And how does the symbol look? Now, if you remember what it said on the armor rack in the beginning of this video, it said first of the vigil. So we know that he was a part of the vigil. So that is the order. How does the symbol for the vigil look? Now, over on the whiteboard over here, if you paid attention to it when you walked into the room behind it, you can tell that there is some symbols on it and it says vigil on one of them. And there looks like some shields. If you remember, there were some shields with some symbols on it and some sockets underneath them down here. And if you pay attention to what they look like, one of them has the symbol of the vigil on it. So my guess is that one of the keystones should sit right here. Now back to the note, we can read the date of inception of his order. So when did the vigils start? If you read on the stone tablet in the first area that you got in, you would have noticed that it says the Watcher's Nest, the vigil founded 1513. Now, if you check the file directory that's in the PC in the main area, you will notice that if you read through them, one of them says main area. And if you go into it, it reads, it's clear now that the grooves on both sides of the armor rack are meaningless, and we're done wasting time on them. Instead, it's very likely that the grooves flanking the old banner are a part of the solution. Damien has noted the deciphered dates for each side on the whiteboard. Now, if we go back and check on the whiteboard, we can also notice that there are actually two dates on each side of the banner. On the right one, it says 1513. And we know that this is indeed the date of inception of his order. So we place the final keystone in this socket. Now, congratulations, we solved the puzzle. And if this video helped you out, make sure to like and consider subscribing.